Hello, we had a bit of rain for a few days, so I haven't been in for a few days. But the good news is that the council have been round and have taken some more of the rubbish. No doubt I'll add a bit more to this pile. Right, after a few days of rain where I've not been able to get in here, it's been too muddy, too wet to do anything because I really didn't want to be playing in the mud. I want to finish the rest of it. Something's killed a pigeon in there, which is good. All those feathers will add a bit of protein to the bed. And I have no sympathy for pigeons. So I've basically got to fill the rest of this up by digging the path. But now that we've had the rain clean the path up, you can see the difference. I mean, this was all covered. I mean, there's still the rubbish on this side, but I'm still waiting for the council to come and collect it. So hopefully that should be soon. They promised April, and we're in the middle of April now. But you can see how much I've taken off it. A good 5 to 10 centimeters in places. A lot of this is actually chippings that I put in later. And this is what it looked like before. This is what it looks like now. It looks a lot neater, doesn't it? But I never knew that this was under all the mud. So when I came, there was mud with lots of weeds in it. So I just put a load of wood chips on top of it. There's a stone or slab there somewhere. There that I need to sort out, but I'll deal with that later. But yeah, I'm happy with this. So I need to sort this out today and move this lot and get this whole area cleared out. I've brought in some more tomatoes and peppers from home, so they need to go in the greenhouse because I'm running out of space at home. The problem is the greenhouse is looking a bit full, and a lot of this stuff can't really go out yet. I mean, you can see this tomato, and for the middle of April they've actually got tomatoes on it. This one I brought in earlier. The courgettes are going gangbusters. They really need to be potted up because they're starting to start flowering. But the problem is I've got all this stuff and all the overwintering stuff like the pak choi and radishes and things. I'm going to start eating them before I can get much more in here. I managed to rescue some of the peas. The snap peas, the mice had done a good number on them, and there was only a couple of straggly ones left, so I didn't bother with them. But the Mulched too, I managed to save a few and put in these cages, so they'll sit in here and give me a crop of early Mulched peas, and then they can go outside a little bit later. But yeah, everything is going okay in here. I need to take a few things out and sort some of these pots out, put some stuff up. I'll do that so that I can get some of the other stuff in. These celery I put in the other day in pots, so I'm going to grow them in these pots. I'm not going to put them in the ground, so I can keep them in the greenhouse. Just keep picking the stalks off it like you would with rhubarb and keep it going, and with luck I should be able to bring them in October before the frosts and continue to pick them through into November, December. We'll see how far they go. I might sow a later lot. I'll see how I'm doing for space, because sowing is easy but finding the space for it is difficult, because I'm running out of space and I've got more stuff to come in. I can put the tomatoes in the middle here, so I've got to move some of this clover from the middle, but until some of this stuff can go out, like the celeriac can go out, the landcress, the beetroot, the onions, etc., they'll be hardened off soon and they'll go, and that'll give me a bit more room. But then all the stuff like courgettes and cucumbers and things will come in, so yeah, it's a bit of a shuffle every year, but it is what it is. I'm going to mulch this apple tree with some cardboard and wood chips because the nettles are coming back under there. I've got to dig up a couple of raspberry runners which have come from the bed next door. These gutters are sitting here because they'll go in this strawberry tower, but that's for later. Because there was all carpet here and it had all this stuff on top of it, as I lifted the carpet I shoveled it across, so this has got to be spread around and then I'll put cardboard on it. This mint, obviously the middle has died off, but it's come round the sides. It's come up from around the sides. There's a dot there. I'll sort that out, because when I take this pot out to split the mint, that can be taken out. And there's a random strawberry runner that's got into it. Don't know which strawberry plant it's from, so I might have to get rid of that because I don't know what variety it is. This Logan berry, I put the end in this pot, and then when it rooted I cut it off a fair bit. Now that it's actually come up and doing well, I'm going to cut this off so it puts all its energy into that. Picked up the pruners instead of the secateurs, but that'll do for this job. That'll do. Right, that will now keep going, and I can pot that up when I need to. I need another builder's bag, so I'll use what's in here to mulch the apple tree and mulch this fruit bed. There used to be a gooseberry there, and I've given that away. I've still got 2 in that cage that need to be given away or got rid of. Well, this path is beginning to shape up nicely because it's a lot of paving stones, and I've been putting the fork in to see how far it goes, and it goes up to where the fork is because that's where it's in the ground. All the way here it goes through and hits the slabs. But you can see from the marks there's a good 12 centimeters of soil and compost to shift, and I have all of that to do and to clear. But it takes a long time because every shovelful that I look through, as I turn around, I find bindweed roots, and I find a lot of rubbish. I've already almost filled that one, and I filled this one. Well, I picked some dandelion this morning, but that has got a lot of bindweed roots in it as well. So yeah, it's slow going because you can see it's all here, it's all rubbish. There's a lot of rubbish here, and things like roofing felt and things which probably have seen better days. They might have to be chucked. So yeah, it's taken a lot longer than I thought, but I'll get through it. It just means it's going to take me longer. I'm raking off the wood chips at the top, but in amongst the broken down material there's still some bits of wood chips and things. Ideally I would have sifted all this and sifted out all the big pieces of wood chips, but I haven't got the time. So with all this wood chips in the soil, it will rob a bit of nitrogen. It will eventually break down, but I'm not too worried because I've got liquid plant foods. I'm not putting in leafy greens in here. I'm only putting in tomatoes this side and courgettes and maybe something else in the middle here. So I'm not overly worried about a little bit of nitrogen loss because I've also got the liquid plant feed. If the plants look a bit peaky, I can always add a bit of that. And I've got this weed barrel that is full. Well, I've taken a lot of this stuff down, but at the bottom there is quite a lot of sludgy stuff left, so I might add a little bit of this, not a lot, a little bit of this to the top of it just to counter. Oh, that smells, that stinks. So this sludgy stuff will be good to mix in with some of that soil so that it's got some bit of more organic matter, a bit more nitrogen. Or I might give it a bit of this neat at the moment because we're in the middle of April. I'm not going to plant into that bed until beginning of June, so it's got time. If I put a bit of neat tea, some of this neat weed tea on top of it, that will then give it a bit more nitrogen to counter the effect of the wood chips. This piece of slab that was used as edging had this piece of metal sticking out because obviously it's reinforced concrete and this metal was used to reinforce it. I dug it up from around the strawberry bed. If I cut this, this is perfect to match more or less the other piece of slab that I've got. It's the right depth, it's the right width, and it's the right depth. So this should fit in nicely, but obviously I don't want this very big piece of metal sticking out, so I'm going to just use the hacksaw and cut this bit off. Right, that's come off, so we'll put that on. Right, I've done this side and I put the slabs that I dug up from the bed at the top, so I put these here, so there is no way a badger is digging through this lot to get in under the sweet corn cage, so that's not a problem. I didn't have enough slabs, obviously I used what I had. I had some that were the same size and a couple of odd pieces, so this bit is sticking out a little bit more. And then I ran out of slabs this size, but I've got some paving bricks which are half the height of normal bricks, so I put those in and they're more or less the right size. Now there's a little bit of a problem here because there's a bit of something stopping those two meeting up, but anyway, I'll sort that out. And then this edge, because the edge of the cold frame is there, this wooden piece actually comes down, so this is wonky, but I'll sort that out. I'll find a piece to match that. That's the only thing I could find at the moment, but I'll find something to sort that out and match that. So it's a little bit wonky at this end, but we'll sort that. So this edge follows the cold frame, but because I had a big piece of concrete here, I had to go around it and work around it. The edge of the bed is not going to be in line with the cold frame, but that doesn't matter because from there to there is 2 meters, which is the width of the weed fabric. So this is right. I'll have to put some pavers here on this edge and then it'll look fine, so might have to take these out. Well, I'll dig these out if need be. Right, so that's done. I'll just put these bricks just to hold the skirt down because the wind keeps getting in under it and it does a Marilyn Monroe. When I put the weed fabric down and put the mulch on top of it, it will hold this edge down. But until then, I'm just putting these bricks down for the moment. I had a rethink about this bed because what I filled it with is all the stuff that was over the path. Well, that is mostly compost-like and broken down wood chips. So it's more like compost with a lot of wood chips in it. There's not much soil in there. So I'm thinking that I'll put some bit of soil in there and top off the rest of it with soil rather than digging this stuff up, because it is quite time consuming and to have to go through it and sieve it, and it's just got too much rubbish in it. So I'll leave that for another day because I've got other things to do. But this bath, I mean, you can see the corners all gone and it's all broken up at this end, so this needs to be thrown away. I think it's beyond the stage of being repaired, so this needs to go. So what I'm going to do is take the soil out of here and use it in the bed. I've also got these 2 baths here. Now this one is okay, but this one also needs to go because it's in the way here. It's very difficult when you're trying to get a wheelbarrow through here. Turning around here, especially when the edges start growing back again, it gets very difficult. So I want these 2 out of the way. Now they were absolutely chock full of weed roots. I mean, you can see I covered it. It's been covered for 2 years and still got nettles coming in. I was going to clear these last year, but there was a bumblebee's nest in this bed, so I left them for the summer. I've got to clear these before we get more bumblebees and wasps trying to nest in here. There's some soil in here as well, and that will go. And this bath will also be thrown away because all the edge is gone and it's just been repaired with a bit of, I think it's a bit of builder's bag, and it's all cracked and broken down there. This one is okay. It's a metal bath. It weighs a ton, and I'm going to put it here where these barrels are. I had some potatoes in this bath last year, and I will probably put some vegetables in here this year. I've got this bath here, another one will go along there, and there's nothing in these barrels. They're just there at the moment, just for somewhere to put them. They're going to go on the fruit bed, so they'll go, and the bath will go along here. This will have to be moved, so I've got to clear this out. This bath has had the corrugated plastic and all this wood I've been keeping on the plastic to keep it dry. I'll take these out and take the soil out of these baths and the other one and move them to the bed over there. So I've just got to bring them down a bit, and then when I've got a bit more time I can deal with what's here and sort that out. Somebody's dropped these up in the car park. They're just what was in the plant pots, so I'm going to grab these. Right, I've got 2 of these blue tubs, and that's my foot for comparison. 2 of these big tubs. I mean, this one is overflowing, this one is almost full. I mean, they've got some perlite and some clay balls in them. Obviously they've got the roots in, and some of them have still got the root balls in. But you know, the price of compost these days, I'm amazed that people are throwing it away. Use it once and throw it away. We've become a really disposable society, haven't we? I might just sort of shake off what I can, and the rest of it can go in the compost bin, and that'll rot down, and I should get some nice little bit of compost. But yeah, I'm amazed that people throw this stuff away. And there must have been more, because there was a lot of it spread around, so obviously people had been and collected some more. But incredible waste, complete waste of money. Well, on their part, not on mine. Right, and this bath that I've emptied, you can see the top is all broken, that bit, that edge is all broken, and then there's a great big hole. Be careful to stick my fingers through it, but there's a big hole in the bottom, so really it's beyond repair. I don't think anybody would really want that, so it's going to the tip. And the contents have gone in there, and that side of the bed, so I'm almost done on that side, but this side still needs a bit of filling, but I've got 2 more baths, so I'll sort those out. But there was a lot of rubbish in it. I mean, this is not the big rubbish, this is just the little bits and pieces that was in it. Some weeds that I can compost, and then all the stuff that, like dandelions and lots of bindweed roots, even in a bath, that I will put into the weed barrel. And this is where it was, so it's neat and tidy now. You can see all the roots under. I mean, this bath has been here for donkey's years, but you can see that the stuff's on this side, and this edging, you can see all this stuff was growing between the bath and the edging, and there's no way you can get to the roots of it because they were under the bath. But now I can, so I can get rid of all this stuff. Right, now that these 2 baths are exposed, you can see the state of them. Obviously this one has been kept dry for 2 years. The bumblebees were nesting in here, so I didn't touch this bath over the summer. And at the end of the summer I put some paper down, and then I covered it with lots of corrugated plastic. But still, nettles have come through and other weeds have come through. But they were a pain because it was difficult to get around them when the hedges were growing. And there's all this stuff that's growing, and the roots are under there, so I can't actually get down and get in and sort out the roots. So I just pull them or cut them, and they just keep coming back. And the same around here, there's brambles and things that are rooted under the bath. Once the bath is removed, I can get in and sort this out. I nearly cut my shin open this morning because as I was going round, I didn't see this. I was carrying some stuff and I didn't see this in the corner. I mean, this is something they put in, and it's a, you know, typical mess. You know, it's not straight. It's sticking out, so things like this are still here, so I need to dig it out. I had to go early yesterday, so I didn't finish this job, but I'll definitely get it finished today. So I've emptied one of the baths and more or less got this filled. It needs a little bit more to fill this. Somebody brought some more pots of this compost. It's good compost. So I grabbed these so that can be added to the stuff I got yesterday. If they keep bringing free compost, I'll keep taking it. Tony's put some slug traps around, and yeah, they're working. We've got some little ones in that one. We've got a really nice big fat one in that one. But I don't know what's happened to this one because it's empty. Looks like something's come along and drunk it. Must be a drunken rat rolling about somewhere. Honestly, these rats are the pits. Drinking beer out of slug traps. Oh dear. Right, this bar is emptied out. I'll get that little bit when I go past to put it at the bottom. I'll just tip that into the bed. So rather than trying to scrape this bit, the last bit out, I'll just tip it onto the bed when I go past it. But it's all cracked. I actually caught my shin on the edge of this, and it was nasty, but fortunately because I was wearing trousers it didn't cut me. But if I wasn't wearing trousers it would have been a bit dangerous. So this bit is all cracked, and it sort of patched it up with a bit of plastic, but that's no good. And this end is also all cracked, and it actually was the fix. I put something across to hold it all together, but really it's had it. This bath has had it, so I'll get rid of that. This other bath, this metal bath, is the one I'm keeping, unless I find that it's got something nasty underneath, but it looks solid. The soil in here looks a lot more full of rock and gravel, but I'll see what I can do with it. I'll just mix it with the soil that was in here, because this was more clay with very little stones in it, apart from these that were at the bottom, all these stones and slabs and things like bits of old bone. I mean, I do use fish blood and bone as slow release fertilizer, but that is very slow release fertilizer. I've just noticed another one where he seems to have been all drunk. So we must have an alcoholic rat. That's all we need. Just empty the soil out of this bath, so that can be taken away. And it can join its friend in the huge rubbish pile. So we've got this lot still to go, but hopefully they'll go in the case I've sent them another email, so hopefully they'll come and take this lot away. Because I want to put things here, but I don't want to do it until they've been and collected this lot, in case they think this might be rubbish and take away my tubs of mint and things. So I will leave that for the moment till they've taken all this stuff away. Now this is what was under the blue bath. You can see it's bindweed galore, absolutely tons of it. Of course you couldn't do anything to it because the roots were down here. It just kept sending out more, and this has got its roots down there where the bath was, so I couldn't get rid of that or this, so I'll be able to dig these out now. This bath has still got a little bit of soil left in it, but I will use that to fill those blue barrels when I put them on the fruit case. They're going to go more or less where they are, but not on the path. These two are going to go there for the blueberries, but there's going to be two more here, one there, that will need filling. I'll use some of what's in the bath to fill these, but that's for another day. And this bed is now filled. Now you will settle a bit, but when I've planted the tomatoes and the courgettes in here, I will add some mulch around it, so that's going to top this up a little bit more. I have been tickling it with this hoe as I go along, and even though I check every shovelful, I'm still finding bits of root and rubbish, and I think I will be doing that for some time, but it's there, it's done, it's filled. I'm happy with that. The soil in this bath was bone dry because obviously it's been covered for a long time. Well, the advantage of that is that it's lighter and easier to carry. I will cover this and keep the soil dry till I need to use it in the containers. I've still got a lot of this liquid plant food in the barrel, as well as the new stuff. So the old stuff I'm going to put onto that bed. I'm not going to dilute it down because we're going to get rain for the next couple of days, and the rain will dilute it down. So I'm taking from the container, so going through that sieve. So any bits of roots or seeds, I mean they shouldn't be viable anyway, but it'll filter all that stuff out. Right, it's time to sort out the fruit bed behind me. I've got to remove all these tatty old bits of edging that they've put in, and you know, they've bolstered it with bits of roof tiles and bits of metal and other bits of metal, and there's bits missing. It's a right mess, and you can see we've got the weeds coming on that side, you've got the weeds coming on that side, and it's a nightmare to control because they've got their roots under this edging, and you can't get the roots out. So once I've got rid of this edging, I can get in and dig out some of the perennial roots and then the other stuff I'll just cardboard over it, and you know, like grasses and things will go. I mean, things like dandelion will be a bit of a problem, but don't mind dandelions. And we'll see how it goes with the bindweed, but most things will be okay. These nettles, once they're beaten, they've got a layer of cardboard on top of them, squashing them flat, they'll be fine. And if any come up through the cardboard and wood chips, then I can pull those, but mostly they should go. And these thistles, once they're covered, they'll die off. I mean, the seeds will still be here, but at least they'll be gone for this year. I've got to sort this bit out, but these pallets are waiting to be used over here. So the pallets are going to go here. There's going to be a fence there, and there's going to be a fence here, and then I will use that for storage, and I'll have the liquid plant food barrels here. But at the moment I can't do anything because the council haven't taken this rubbish away yet, so I'll have to wait on those. And I don't bring them down here in case the council guys turn up and think it's rubbish and take them away. So until I've been and taken this out, I can't really do anything over here either. This will probably have to go, but I may not be in the mood for digging this out because it's not actually where the corner of the bed should be. The corner of the bed should be here, about 10 centimeters away, so I don't know why they put it there. This edge has actually come off. It should be over here. Well, you can't see the other edge because of the rhubarb, but it should come up here. And one other job I've got to do is put something in the ground here, because every time I go up here with a hose pipe to water what's in this bed, I end up catching the rhubarb and breaking the stalks. So I want to put something here for the moment, because the rhubarb will go next year, but for the moment. Right, I managed to get this piece out, which was mostly actually buried. It's quite deep, but I managed to get the fork in under it, and with a bit of brute force managed to get it out. But then I found that they've hammered in things like this, and I couldn't see it before because it was round it. And it's hammered in so deep. I tried to get the fork in under it, and it's deeper than the fork. So I've got to go in with a mattock and dig these out. I don't know how many of these I will find because they're all hidden in the grass. No, I just hit another one there. Oh no, there's another one there. Look, they're idiots. Just a piece of metal. Just cram a piece of metal into the ground for God knows what reason. Absolute idiots. So I'll take this out and this out, and I bet there's more. Oh no, there's another one here. So they'll put one about every 25-30 centimeters. They've hammered in another piece of metal just for fun, just to waste my time. They're bloody idiots. Right, I've got this side almost done. Now this piece, if I put my foot on there just for comparison, you can see that was a big piece to dig out. And then behind it, there's all these, I mean, you can see, it was buried up to about there. So good nearly 30 centimeters of it was underground and about 15 centimeters above ground. Same with this one, same with this one, same with this one. And I pulled this piece out. I don't know whether it's stone or what. It weighed a ton. Anyway, I got it out, but I've still got these hanging around in the grass. So I've got to find these, and they're under the rhubarb, so I'll have to pull some of these leaves and get this sorted out, because obviously you can't put cardboard while there's bits of metal in the ground. So I'll get these out. This side should be okay, apart from the fact that I've got these bags of mulch sitting ready to go. So what I'll probably do is start that at that end and do that side and put this on top of that, and then I'll dig out this one. And this side, I mean, obviously bits of stone and all sorts of roof tiles and things. But yeah, this side is a bit, I mean, some of it is pretty well gone. So it's all rotten whole thing anyway. So get rid of this. Then I can do this half, put that on top of it, and then I'll dig that, and then I can do the path. I've already cardboard and mulched that side, so that's fine. Well, apart from obviously some weeds that have come through, but I knew they would, where obviously I haven't been able to mulch it too well around the raspberries, and there's no cardboard there, so the weeds are pushing through the thin layer of wood chips. But around here, it's not too bad. It's not too bad here, around the currant bushes. A few little weeds, but nothing too too bad. I mean, I can pull those out easy enough. Right, well, I've dug those out. Same thing, great big things. All of these were put in to hold this in place, but this was buried in anyway, so I don't know what the point of that was anyway. I've pulled some of the leaves around the rhubarb to make sure that I've not missed any, and I've exposed this mess around this edge. So I've pulled these out. I pulled a lot of leaves. I've left the youngest, obviously they're too young to go, well, you could cook them, but I've got a fair bit here anyway, so that's enough to be going on with for a while. So I'll get these out. Now these should get a bit of brute force, should come out because they're only like roofing slates and they're only put in about a third of the way, so isn't that one? Oh, behind it. Point of that I don't know, but I'll remove the rest and dig this out. I've dug this edging up. It's a good 30 centimeters wide and halfway buried in, and you can see Charles' dading point about bed edges and slugs. Obviously now that I've dug them up, they're scarping pretty sharpish. I mean, this one is moving pretty fast. These other two are a bit thick. Decided to sunbathe, but anyway. And there was a ton of other things around and wood lice and things. There's more slugs there, but a lot of them scarpered sharpish as soon as I went to get the camera. They used any old rubbish they could find. I mean, these are thick pieces of plastic that were used as part of the edging, but a lot of it was this really thick edging. It was all painted, and the paint is all flaking off. So really disgusting. Shouldn't be putting that into the ground. Of course it rots, and all this stuff is gone and it's in the soil now. Nothing I can do about it. It is what it is. But yeah, there's a few of those sitting there with the rest of the rubbish. Hopefully they'll come and collect it soon. Now this area, there is no increase in height between the path and the bed, so they're pretty well even. Having removed those edgings, I've discovered that they've had old stone edging here as well, so this one I think might need to be taken out, but the others are so deep that they're not going to cause me any grief. They're actually buried, so they'll be under the wood chips, so I don't need to worry about that. This one I might have to dig out, but this end is where I piled that massive pile of wood chips when I first got the allotment, and broken down into nice sort of compost like material. Obviously it was just wood chips, so it's not going to become compost, but it's actually broken down quite well. So I've been using that and putting it in various places, but that's why there's a little bit of an increase from this to, let's look at, dig at that piece of wood. You can see there's a little bit of an increase between the top of the bed on this side edge and the path on here, but it's not a huge amount, and this bit is more or less level, so I'll have to sort this out and level this out, but that's not a major issue. So I'm going to dig this out, and then I'm going to dig this out, and then I can start cardboarding and mulching in this bed. John had built a cage here to protect these gooseberries while the ones on his own plot grew up and started fruiting, but now that they have, he doesn't need to use the ones on my allotment, so he's taken the cage down and the netting. There's a little bit left at the back, I'll sort that out. So I'm going to take these gooseberries out now. I've given away as many gooseberries as I can, but gooseberries are so easy to propagate. I put it on Facebook, I put it on the local thing, nobody else wants any gooseberries, so these have got to go. I mean, they are good healthy plants, but everybody around here has either got more gooseberries than they know what to do with, or they don't like them. I don't need these, nobody else wants them, so unfortunately they've got to go. I've got to dig them up and get rid of them.